بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. This is lesson number 15 from the explanation of Haa'iyyah Ibn Abi Dawud, and inshallah today we're going to carry on from line number 26. So on line number 26, قال ناظم رحمه الله, he said, وَلَا تُكَفِّرَنْ أَهْلَ الصَّلَاةِ وَإِنْ عَصَوْا فَكُلُّهُمْ يَعْصِي وَذُو الْعَرْشِ يَصْفَحُ. So this is going to be the main focus of this, because this is a refutation of the khawaarij. Because what he's going to do here is he's going into two different groups here. He's going to go over it because the two different groups you have, with all the people that go astray, and generally they go astray in two different directions. You have one group that will go astray to al-ifrat, which means that they go to extremes. They go beyond the accepted boundaries. And this you see on the internet nowadays with the people, they have gone to this extreme of takfeer and using these alfaz of takfeer, but then they say that they don't mean takfeer, like calling people Zionists and rabbis and all this types of, all these forms of like istihza. And these are terminologies clearly meant, that they mean takfir, but then when you ask them about them or press them about it, then they say, no, that's not what I meant. I meant that he's acting like. But, this is because of al-ghulu. And they've gone to extremes. They've gone beyond the accepted boundaries. And these are not people that have knowledge, because people that have knowledge would not be saying these types of things, especially not out in public. Allah musta'an. And then you have the other people that have the issue of at-tafriq. So you have al-ifrat, the people that go to extremes beyond the accepted boundaries. And then you have the tafriq. And these people, they become more accepting and lackadaisical. More things become halal to them. More things become acceptable to them. So you might have one extreme group that starts making takfir of everybody. And then you have another extreme, another group that, has this, this, how can you say this? Like where they try to let's unite with the Sufis, let's unite with the Deal Bandis, let's unite with all these groups and the Shia, and no. So Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah is between these two, between this one and between this one, because the thing is Shaitan takes the people from the haqq and he makes them go to one of these two extremes, either up or down, either to that type of extremism. Or he makes him go to this, become like mutahawin, muradin. So he doesn't have an issue with sitting with a Deal Bandi or sitting with a Shi'i or sitting with any of these types of individuals. He doesn't have an issue. So this is the mufarrat. And of course the mufrat is the person that just goes to those, just complete extremes. But they both started in the middle. And the shaitan made them go this way or that way based on what, because shaitan, he's got a lot of experience leading people astray. We're the ones that we only live on this earth for a small period of time. But he's been busy since the time of Adam alayhi salam. So I think he has a good knowledge of people, and his followers have a good knowledge of people to know how to lead them astray. And, so people, we have to always constantly, seek Allah's protection, because the only one that can protect us from them is Allah. And so, this is the importance of, the adhkar al-sabah, the adhkar al-masa, that you constantly recite those adhkar. You recite the adhkar before you go to bed. You constantly stay in the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, reading the Quran, learning the sunnah, and staying in the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your free times. Because these times of ghafla, of heedlessness, and this is when the shaitan comes into a person's mind and starts, with his wasawas. And this is what leads the people this way or that way. You can always trace this back to people getting busy with things they shouldn't have been busy with and becoming heedless in the deen. So you remain on the adhkar, like keep up with the adhkar and keep up. We just constantly asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for that protection. Because without Allah's protection, what are we going to do? We're weak. How long do we live on this earth? And most people, they never learn. Most people, they don't, even though Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned everything about the kaid, the treachery of shaitan and what he's trying to do to entrap the people and get them to go away from the truth. But most people don't read the Quran. Most people don't read it, and when they do read it, they don't read it with tadabbur. They're not pondering it. So, Allah musta'an, you have to seek protection from Allah. So this is the extreme, the main extreme that we see. I mean, we see both of these extremes on a daily basis. All you got to do is just go to any stupid social media platform and you'll see both extremes being played out on a daily basis. You got like this one extreme of these takfiris, these khawaarij type individuals, that now they want to make takfir on anybody that doesn't agree with them, anybody that that doesn't share their opinions about banning this and blocking this and warning against this. So now they're making takfir on people, calling them rabbis and Zionists and all. And then you see these other individuals like these yaqini type people, where now they're going to that other extreme of like trying to sing kumbaya with all the kuffar and all the different groups and try to bring let's all come together. And this is not a hippie movement. We're Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah. We're here to follow the Sunnah. This is not about like hippie love and all this running around hugging trees. We're not trying to do that. We're trying to learn the deen, practice the deen, teach the people the deen, and die on the haqq. So whoever wants to do that, yallah. Let's ahlan wa sahlan, wa marhaban, wa ala ayna wa ras. But whoever doesn't want to do that, we got nothing to do with them. You got people that want to stand in clear opposition to the haqq. It doesn't matter who they are. We have nothing to do with those people. Let them do their own thing. We're going to teach the people the Quran and the Sunnah. This is what we're here for. We don't have time for all that hippie stuff. We don't have time for all that extreme stuff. Running around making takfir of people. Now, number one, takfir should be an issue for the ulama, for the people of knowledge. Not these little buffoons on Twitter. Who are these people? Well, like, you get these guys now running around making takfir, and he's got like a, anime, like an anime thing. Yeah, anime is built on shirk. Shirk billah. You watch anime, you're muta'awan ala al-ithmi wal-udwan. You're you're sharing in that sin of spreading shirk, spreading sihr, spreading all the types of evil, and now you want to go and make takfir of the Muslims? Ya akhi, ittaqillah. Ittaqillah. Even one time, I think somebody sent me a post. A guy was, sitting there making all these types of like hardcore claims on the internet. His name his name on Twitter is Mr. Bean. I mean, come on, akhi. Ittaqillah, man, you're a fool. You're a fool, Mr. Bean. Allah musta'an. Well, these people. But that's the main thing for the people is not to get caught up in all this. Don't get caught up in this. When you see the people going in these directions, they're all going away from the haqq. The haqq is in the middle. The haqq, is with the Quran and the Sunnah and with dalil. None of these people back their statements up with dalil. None of them. Not the mufarritun and not the mufritun. And even if they were to back their statements up with dalil, they take the dalil and they twist it in a way to fit their narrative, what they want to say. So Allah musta'an. Just stay away from all of this. But right now we're going to deal with the issue of the takfir, not the issue of the other group, which is the murji'ah. We're going to go into those inshallah in the next lesson inshallah. So he said, وَلَا تُكْفِرَنَّ أَهْلَ الصَّلَاةِ وَإِنْ عَصَوْا. So he's saying like, don't make takfir of the people of the people of salat, the people that continue to pray, when asaw, so don't make takfir of them with disobedience, even if it's a kaba'ir, even if it's from the the major sins. You cannot make takfir of the people. And we're going to get into the other issues about what about the person who actually does something that is from the nawaqid of Islam. Now that's, we'll deal with that in a second, inshallah. So he said, فَكُلُّهُمْ يَعْصِي. Everybody commits disobedience. Everybody. وَذُو الْعَرْشِ يَصْفَحُ. So what he means from the last line is that everybody sins, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that forgives the sins. And we see this from the statement that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made in the Quran. We say, قُلْ يَا عِبَادِيَ الَّذِينَ أَسْرَفُوا عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ لَا تَقْنَطُوا مِنْ رَحْمَةِ اللَّهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَغْفِرُ الذُّنُوبَ جَمِيعًا. So he said, oh my servants, who الَّذِينَ أَسْرَفُوا, that they've gone and they've done this type of disobedience, and they disobeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whether it be small sins or, a lot of small sins or big sins. He said, الَّذِينَ أَسْرَفُوا عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ لا تقنطوا من رحمة الله. Don't become hopeless of the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إن الله يغفر الذنوب جميعا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives all the sins, all of the sins. And Allah, we know that, the only sin that the person is not forgiven if he dies upon shirk. If he dies upon shirk, well, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive shirk for a person if he made tawbah. If he made tawbah from it while he's alive. But if he dies upon it, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not forgive that sin. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَغْفِرُ أَن يُشْرَكَ بِهِ وَيَغْفِرُ مَا دُونَ ذَلِكَ لِمَن يَشَاءُ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not forgive that a person commits shirk with him. وَيَغْفِرُ مَا دُونَ ذَلِكَ. And he forgives everything other than that, لِمَن يَشَاءُ. Everything under shirk is forgiven to whoever he pleases. And that any action that has shirk involved in it, that action is rejected. Alright, so it's rejected. Whether it's the shirk al-asghar or shirk al-akbar. That action is not accepted. And the person, if he makes tawbah, no, taba, man taba Allahu alayhi. So that's the whole thing. But if he dies on that, then no, that's not going to be forgiven for him. If a person dies on kufr, he's not going to be forgiven. And if a person dies on shirk, he's not going to be forgiven. But everything else from amongst the kaba'ir, the saghair, and all these, the major sins and the minor sins, all of those, are tahta al-mashiyah. Of course, with the smaller sins, you have the mukaffirat. You have the things that, that you can, make like expiation for those sins by, walking to the masjid, staying in the masjid after the salawat, al-jumu'atu ila jumu'ati, as-salawat al-khamsa wa jumu'ati ila jumu'ati wa Ramadan ila Ramadan. So all of these are the mukaffirat. And these are for the smaller sins. With the major sins, you have to make tawbah. And if you die and you haven't made tawbah from these major sins, then obviously you're tahta al-mashiyah. You're underneath the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If He wants to forgive you, maybe you've done a lot of good and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He forgives you for the good that you've done, and then He enters you into Jannah. If not, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala punishes you in the hellfire, for a certain time or until somebody makes shafa'ah for you, like intercession, and you can come out of the hellfire and go into Jannah. But, either way it goes, the person, his final abode will be to go to Jannah. And we see like a similar statement, like from Imam al-Tahawi, rahimahullah, in his book, Aqidat al-Tahawiyya, right, in his matan. He said, وَلَا نُكَفِّرُ أَحَدًا مِنْ أَهْلِ الْقِبْلَةِ بِذَنْبٍ مَنْ لَمْ يَسْتَحِلَّ. He said, we don't make takfeer of anybody from Ahl al-Qibla, the people that pray to the Qibla, which is Mecca. بِذَنْبٍ مَا لَمْ يَسْتَحِلَّ. If they committed a sin that doesn't warrant them having takfeer made on them. So this, of course, is talking about a person who falls into the kaba'ir. If he falls into the kaba'ir, that is not deserving of a person making takfeer of him. Now, there's a difference between a person who drinks alcohol, knows that it's haram, and another person who drinks alcohol and says that it's halal. You understand? So there's difference. Now, this person is, he's muhal. This is a different issue. And all of this, like I said, but this goes back to the ulama. This is not for like laymen on social media to run around and be making takfir of people. Wallahu musta'an. He said, وَلَا نَقُولُ لَا يَضُرُّ مَعَ الْإِيمَانِ ذَنْبٌ لِمَنْ عَمِلُ. He said, and we don't say that, that no action, that no sin doesn't, and this is going to come up, like I said, in the second to the line, the second line after the line that we're going over. And because this is a refutation of the Murji'ah, where the Murji'ah, they say whatever a person does, it doesn't affect him. As long as he believes in his heart, khalas, he can do, he has the iman of, no. So inshallah, we're going to deal with that in a moment. But the main thing is about the issue of the takfir. And it's kind of interesting because these same people now that are running on social media making takfir of all the people here. Now, these are the same people that were running around complaining about Salafis and saying, oh, the Salafis say this person's a mubtadi', this person's a mubtadi', this person's a mubtadi'. And this is what they used to complain about. And they say that the Salafis don't do anything but this. But now they're running around making takfir now. They're taking people out of Islam. So now they warned against something that they thought was a munkar, and now they're falling into something way worse than what they were warning from. So Allah musta'an, you see how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala flips the hearts of the people. Flips them. يعني إن القلوب بين إصبعين من أصابع الرحمن. Wallah. That all the hearts, between two fingers from the fingers of Rahman. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala flips them as He sees fit. If that person, he shows, qabul, he shows acceptance of the haqq, which is from the conditions of la ilaha illallah. From the conditions of la ilaha illallah, to fulfill your statement of la ilaha illallah, al-qabul wal-inqiyad. Al-qabul wal-inqiyad. Al-qabul is that you accept the haqq. Al-inqiyad is that you follow it unquestioningly. You completely surrender yourself to the truth. This is from the conditions of la ilaha illallah. But you see these people, they go and they just make up a deen for themselves. Allah musta'an. They make up any type of deen. So the issue is now about the takfeer of the person with the kaba'ir. We don't run around making takfeer on people just because they made major sins, whoever they are. All right, and the other thing is that we don't run around making takfeer of people that even fall into things that will take the person out of Islam until the hujjah and the evidence has been established upon the person. The hujjah has to be established. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, He said, "Man ihtada, فإنما يهتدي لنفسه, ومن ضل فإنما يضل عليها, ولا تزر وازرة وزر أخرى, وما كنا معذبين حتى نبعث رسولا." So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, "Man ihtada, whoever follows the guidance, فإنما يهتدي لنفسه, he's following the guidance for his own benefit. Allah is not benefiting from us following the guidance. We're the ones that benefit." So He said, "Man ihtada, فإنما يهتدي لنفسه, ومن ضل فإنما يضل عليها." And whoever follows misguidance and follows the wrong path, then that's upon him. He's the one that is gonna suffer the consequences for that. وَلَا تَزِرُ وَازِرَةٌ وِزْرَ أُخْرَى, and a person is not going to be held accountable for the sins of another. وَمَا كُنَّا مُعَذِّبِينَ, and this is the shahid. This is the part where I want you to focus on. And وَمَا كُنَّا مُعَذِّبِينَ, and we were not to punish the people حَتَّى نَبْعَثَ رَسُولًا, until we send to them a messenger. Send to them a messenger. The messenger that comes in this life. Like Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and all the Rasul that went to their people. Allah sent these messengers to the people to establish the hujjah upon them. Now there's some people that might never have heard the message. They never heard about Islam. And these people will be tested on the Day of Judgment. And a messenger will be sent to them on the Day of Judgment. So we see this in the hadith that came on Aswad ibn Sari' wa Abi Hurairah, both of them. Alright, this is in the Musnad of Imam Ahmed. He said, أَنَّ نَبِيَ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ قَالَ أَرْبَعَةٌ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ, 4 people on the Day of Judgment. رَجُلٌ أَصَمْ لَا يَسْمَعُ شَيْئًا, a person who's deaf, he doesn't hear anything. وَرَجُلٌ أَحْمَقٌ, a person who's like a deficient in his mind. Alright, he's deficient in his mind, like I guess what you can kind of, what the people used to call like retarded. So he's got like his mental handicaps. وَرَجُلٌ حَرَمٌ, a person who was very, very old and feeble old age to the point where he now reverted back to like a childlike mindset where he started to forget everything. And وَرَجُلٌ مَاتَ فِي فَتْرَةٍ, and a man who died during the period between Isa alayhi salam, or between 2 messengers. So between those 2 messengers, when a lot of the people, like in the time of Isa alayhi salam, the people strayed away from the deen. So that there's this long period of time between him and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this time, the message might not have reached this person. So this person is a person who died in the time of Fi Fatratan. فَأَمَّا الْأَصَمْ, and he said, as far as the Asam, فَيَقُولُ رَبِّي لَقَدْ جَاءَ الْإِسْلَامُ وَمَا أَسْمَعُ شَيْئًا. He said that Islam came to me, but I couldn't hear anything because he's deaf. He said, وَأَمَّا الْأَحْمَقُ فَيَقُولُ رَبِّي لَقَدْ جَاءَ الْإِسْلَامُ وَالصِّبْيَانُ يَحْذِفُونِي بِالْبَعْرِ. And he said that, Islam came to me and the kids were in the street, throwing like manure, like cow dung, not cow dung, but like the dung of camels on them. He said, وَأَمَّا الْحَرِمُ فَيَقُولُ رَبِّي لَقَدْ جَاءَ الْإِسْلَامُ وَمَا أَعْقِلُ شَيْئًا. So the feeble old man, he would say that Islam came and I couldn't understand anything, because he was at that age where his mental capacities had diminished completely. And he said, وَأَمَّا الَّذِي مَاتَ فِي الْفَتْرَةِ, and as far as that person that died between the period of messengers, he said, فَيَقُولُ رَبِّي مَا أَتَانِي لَكَ رَسُولٌ. And he said that no messenger came to me because he died at a time where there was no messenger sent. Alright, so this person, these are what they're going to say on the Day of Judgment. This is going to be what they're going to say, why they did not accept the truth, right? So then he said, فَيَأْخُذُ مَوَاثِقَهُم. So then he's going to take a covenant with them. أَلَا يُطِيعُنَّهُ فَيُرْسِلُ إِلَيْهِمْ أَنْ يَدْخُلُوا النَّارِ. And then he'll send a messenger to them and to tell them to go into the fire. قال فوالذي نفس محمد بيده لو دخلوها لكان عليهم بردا وسلاما. And he said, by he who's in whose hand is the soul of Muhammad, if they were to enter into that fire, they would find it peaceful and secure and safe and cold. They will not be burnt up because of their obedience. He said, وَمَنْ لَمْ يَدْخُلْهَا يُسْحَبُ إِلَيْهَا. And whoever refuses to enter into it, he'll be dragged to it and thrown and tossed in it, and he's not going to find it. Salaman wa baradan. Those are the people that rejected the messenger. So the point is that the hujjah has to be established, even for these people on the day of judgment, that a messenger will be sent to them, and the hujjah will be established upon them, that you rejected this message, you rejected what you were commanded to do, so now you're deserving of the hellfire. So the same thing when we're dealing with people who are steeped in ignorance. And there's a difference between a person who's calling to, like, for example, you get these people that go to graves. They make dua to the grave. Now this is shirk akbar. Takes the person out of the deen. But then you get these people that are in some village out in some mountainside in the middle of nowhere that they think that this is Islam. And they were raised up thinking this was Islam. And nobody ever taught them any better. And if we see this type of behavior from them, we go and we establish the hujjah upon them. We teach them tawheed. We teach them that this is not acceptable in the deen. And then if they reject that, now that the message has been sent to them, then they've left the deen. If they continue to do that act, because now they're doing that act now when they understand that it's wrong. Once they've had an understanding that it's wrong. So even with the takfeer of the people, the hujjah has to be established. We live in a time where the people are very, very, very ignorant of their religion. Very ignorant of their religion. We don't live in the time of the Sahaba, and we don't live in the time of the Tabi'een and Atba'a Tabi'een. And now we got a bunch of these people running around and they just doing completely away with the Urdh bil-Jahl. And you say, no, there's no Urdh bil-Jahl. How is there no Urdh bil-Jahl? When, the whole world, wallahi, the most basic concepts, if you go around to all the Muslims in the West and just ask them about the most basic concepts, the majority of the Muslims don't even understand that leaving off salat takes you, you leave the deen by leaving off salat. Most people don't even know this. You establish the hujjah, you teach them. You teach the Muslims. And this is what we're supposed to do. We're not supposed to be running around trying to chop at people and take people down and take people out of the deen. If you see people doing things like this, then you want to talk to them first and ask them and try to teach them. And, facilitate for them the understanding of the Quran and the Sunnah. Open up a book of Tawheed and teach them that this is wrong. Show them the hadith. Show them all the different ayat and all the things that happen to the people for doing something similar. But to sit here and just takfeer on people without even looking into their situation. No, it's just the same thing. Like, for example, if a person leaves off salat, knowing that knowing this adillah, khalas, that person's left Islam. But would I say that to the same person who grew up in America who doesn't understand that? No. We have a lot of people here in America that don't pray. They don't pray, but they don't know. They don't know that by not praying, they still think they're Muslim. You sit down and you teach the people. This is you see what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. In regards to this, to the people that have this ignorance, that actually, وَمَا كُنَّا مُعَذِّبِينَ حَتَّى نَبْعَثَ رَسُولًا. So we have to establish the hujjah upon the people. You just can't go around and just make a takfeer of people for no reason. And then you don't understand what certain issues, that person might have some type of ta'wil. He might have some false interpretation, and you have to correct him. You have to see if this is what the issue is, that he has this wrong interpretation. Just like a person who says that Allah is everywhere. Is that not kufr? Is that not a statement of kufr? So are we going to run around and make takfir of every single person that says Allah is everywhere? We look at the person's background. We look at the person's ignorance. And we teach the people. We show the people the adillah from the Quran and the Sunnah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fawqa al-arsh. How many times does he has to say that? How many times does he say this in the Quran until you understand it? So Allah musta'an. And you teach the people. You show them the tafsir of the Salaf. You show them that this is the understanding. And if they decide to still accept the batil that they're upon, and they themselves have accepted kufr. You know, so Allah musta'an. I mean, even if you look at the statement that Allah is everywhere, it comes from what? It comes from the Hululiyyah. The Hululiyyah are from the worst of the Batiniyah. But these people, they came and they took the belief of the Hululiyyah and they kind of watered it down a little bit. Kind of similar to like what, the Ash'ariyun do with the madhab of the Mu'tazila and the Jahmiyyah, is that they take it and they kind of water it down a little bit to make it more palatable for the people. So it like seems, no, but it's still, because now look, go read the Quran and see how many times Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that he mentions the istiwa al-arsh. Allahumma musta'an. And Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah himself, he mentioned 7 times. And his متن الواسطية. He said في 7 مواضع في سورة الأعراف قوله إن ربكم الله الذي خلق السماوات والأرض في 6 أيام ثم استوى على الأرش. So there you go, سورة الأعراف, that's 1. وقال في سورة يونس عليه السلام إن ربكم الله الذي خلق السماوات والأرض في 6 أيام ثم استوى على الأرش. That's number 2. وقال في سورة الرعد الله الذي رفع السماوات بغير عمد ترونها ثم استوى على الأرش. Alright. And then you got وقال في سورة طه الرحمن على العرش استوى. وقال في سورة الفرقان ثم استوى على العرش الرحمن. وقال في سورة ألف لام ميم سجدة الله الذي خلق السماوات والأرض وما بينهما في 6 أيام ثم استوى على العرش. ثم قال في سورة الحديد هو الذي خلق السماوات والأرض في 6 أيام ثم استوى على العرش. So there you go. I mean, but still you have people running around saying, no, well, this is not true. So again, you teach the people, you you go and you take all the different, and these are just the ayat about al-istiwa. The whole lesson, this will take a whole lesson to go into all the different ayat and the hadith, just dealing with the ulu. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is raised, he's above his creation. So Allah musta'an. But it's our job to teach the people. We don't run around just making takfeer of people. And even the laymen, you don't run around making tabdi' of the laymen until what? You teach them. You teach the people. And if the people reject it after that, but they're rejecting it once the haqq has been presented to them, that's a whole different story. That's a different story. That now they get a different treatment. They get a different dealing. But, your job is to go to the people and teach them. You see the Muslims falling into these types of things. You go and you teach them and you show them that this is wrong. You teach them from the Quran and the Sunnah. You open up Kitab Tawheed. Show them the things that they're doing that are, that are basically completely invalidating their Tawheed. Open up like al-wasatiyah and show them the things that they're saying about the Asma' wa Sifat that are complete batil, and show them the correct understanding of the Salaf. But do it in a fashion where you're teaching the people where you want good for the people. And also that and for the people that don't want the good and they don't want the haqq, at the very least, you're establishing the hujjah upon them. And then what comes. Then you take their affairs to the ulama and let the ulama do what they do. That's their job. We don't take that type of responsibility. Like me personally, I would never want the responsibility of running around trying to make takfir of another Muslim. A'udhu billahi min hadha. I mean, it's very clear from the hadith of Abdullah ibn Umar in Sahih Muslim, in which it's in Muslim and Bukhari, in which the Prophet ﷺ said, أَيُّمَا أَمْرٍ قَالَ لِأَخِيهِ يَا كَافِرٍ. Whichever person says to his brother, oh kafir, he calls him a kafir. فَقَالْ بَاءَ بِهَا أَحَدُهُمَا. Then it's gonna go to one of the two. And كَانَ كَمَا قَالْ, if he is like he said, وَإِلَّا رَجَعَتْ عَلَيْهِ. So if he says to his companion that he's a kafir, then it's gonna go to one of the two. So if his companion is exactly as he says, it's going to go to him. If not, then it's going to go back to the person who said it. That's not a small thing. That's not a small issue. That's a major issue. That's a major issue. And that's why these affairs should be taken to the ulama. Not like for us, teach the people. Teach the people. Establish the hujjah on the people that don't want to accept the truth, but teach the people that want to accept the truth and show them the correct guidance from the Quran and the Sunnah and the understanding of the Salaf. وإلى هنا سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.